Infernal Shrines, game number 1, map number 1. Netherlands going up against Belgium. Belgium had a fantastic series against the UK, but they lost, and the Netherlands got absolutely demolished by Sweden, if I'm not mixing things up here. So both of the teams currently in their group looking for the first win. They really need one. Whoever loses here is very, very likely out of the tournament. So, Belgium versus Netherlands. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. Belgium had a couple of fantastic moments when they were playing against the United Kingdom, but that series in general was just absolutely nuts. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure that you check it out. It was really good. With that being said, Infernal Shrines, let's find out who's going to take the win here. And first of all, of course, in the draft, what the priority is going to be. On Infernal Shrines, we have still seen pretty big priorities on Turanda for kill comps. But of course, you can easily also go into deck Arcane here. You have still Alexstrasza being quite strong through the Dragon Queen form that you can use to get access to those points. But just generally speaking, we had a massive influx of early Inuburaks together with kill compositions, just trying to go for quick kills here. So normally comboed off with the Malfurion, with the Turanda, trying to engage and play around that. There's like two builds that are basically being used, one being the complete engage build, where you go into the Burrow Charge very heavily with Underking, Subterranean Shield in the Epicenter, and a variation where you spec into Inuburak's Carapace talent on 4, 7 and 13, normally then still Epicenter for the easier engage on 16 though. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. It's also another game where we're going to look at the Ali UI again. Currently, again, discussing a little bit which UI to use in the future. Taking a couple of votes there and polls on the Twitch stream for exactly that. To find out what people prefer. Both, of course, have their advantages. Diablo banned out. I mean, Diablo and Garrosh usually playing still a huge role despite Inuburak's, I don't want to say priority, but like the newfound popularity. Hanzo on the first pick, very Dignitas-esque what we're seeing from them. Now Garrosh is of course still up. Malf is up too. Could go into the earlier Inuburak here as well if you wanted to play around that. But with Turanda being banned out, if you really want to play that particular style, then you would have to try and go into a Inuburak right away. Into Malfurion right away with an Inuburak choice. But with especially Garrosh still being around. There we have him. Is it Malf? No, Genji taken. Alright. So already a little bit of an adjustment here from Belgium. That leaves us with Malfurion up for grabs if the Netherlands want to go for it. But as I mentioned before, Alexstrasza and Deckard Kane are also two great choices. Can also go into Whitemane if you wanted to. But those two particularly come to mind since you can easily control the shrine itself and the entrance points. Malf can do that as well. But obviously would want to have something to really follow up on damage too if you could. And that brings us to potentially Liming can be played here. Most likely we're going to rather see a Gul'dan or a Jaina than Liming, just because Liming has a bit of a diminished value on Infernal Shrines when it comes to the objective fight. She can still be really powerful. The resets alone are great, and if you have a Calamity build, you can of course still bunny hop through that shrine and play Whack-A-Mole and try to take people down here, so there's still a lot that you can do with that. Johanna and Leoric as the picks. Deckard Kane gets banned out. So they're banning out supports since there's none taken for the Netherlands yet, and they already know that they have the next double pick, so they're limiting the options for their opponent. And let's see what the Netherlands gonna do. Windmills and tulips. What are we gonna see from them? What do we have for Belgium on the other hand? Well, if you already play the stereotype game, it's a little bit easy when you're seeing like most teams face off against each other. Most of the time you can just simply go for some food, right? We have the Swedish meatballs, Italian spaghetti or pizza, Spain with their paella, Germany sausage and schnitzel. But Belgium? I actually don't even know. Belgium probably beer, right? I mean Germany more so, but Belgium is also kind of known for beer. Netherlands, definitely tulips. No Malfurion! Oh yeah, Malfurion banned out, my bad. A little bit too much sidetracked here with the food choices. Malfurion banned out, and that means an immediate Alexstrasza pick. So right now I'm curious what the Netherlands are going to go for. Whitemane? You could Rhaegar. Rhaegar gives you a little bit more clear on mercenary camps. You have the minion clear too, you have the lightning shield. The Auric that helps you a bit if he starts ghosting through and is straight in the opponent's team. But yeah, Thrall taken, Garrosh, Alexstrasza, Stukov. Kind of forgot about him, my bad. Stukov on Medivh. I'm not sure if they have enough bursty damage. Hanzo is great with tickle damage, and he has also some numbers to burst through, but Medivh will have to really deliver here, I feel. Not out of the question by any means, but it's going to be an interesting one if they can set that up. Gul'dan as the final choice for Belgium. And I kind of like what they have here. So, let's find out. Again, both of them lost already a series in the group stage. So it's going to be an important one for them. We are starting things off with Infernal Shrine. So let's see which team is going to take the lead in the best of 3. Game number 1 in the series. Belgium against the Netherlands. Here at the Nexus contest. To the left, Belgium with Toulouf on Thrall. We have Khaldor on Gul'dan. Enabler on Genji. Heiser on Garrosh. And not even trying on Alexstrasza. Wasn't he a tank the last time that we casted them? Am I crazy? Didn't he play Johanna? I'm a little bit confused right now. To the right side of the map we have the Netherlands with Yuki on Hanzo, Medivh played by Xenobias, Dark Omicron and Leoric, Pani on Stukov, and B-Guy on Johanna. I'm still not quite sure if that means the bold guy, bald guy, bad guy, or big guy. It's one of those. With that being said, apparently Belgium is known for waffles, which I actually remembered after I was told, and for fries. So that's a little bit news to me. It's more of an American thing. Or French fries, if you want to. Either way, looking at this game already, getting the stacks in here for Medivh. Let's see if he can actually complete his quest. Like, the thing... Are they going to get a kill? Alright, that starts off with a bang for the Netherlands. I was just about to say, if they really want to make this work with the composition that they're running here, I feel they need to make sure that Medivh doesn't die and completes his quest. If the baseline quest is not completed, then the damage would be quite reduced. So Arcane Rift is going to be highly important, so Xenobias needs to make sure that he's going to be able to complete that, so that they are not relying that heavily on Hanzo. I mean, either way, Hanzo will deliver when it comes to damage output, but if you really want to win through those shrines, then having the base quest completed on Medivh would be a great help. So if he dies and they get reset, that would be a huge problem. Talking about problems, that bird in general is just a nuisance. Always flying around and granting vision. And they're setting up a portal already, or at least trying to here. Alright, Medivh in trouble, that's what we talked about, and he's barely able to get away. Yeah. Barely able to move out here. That was already close. Could have lost all the stacks that he accumulated thus far. Sitting at 9 stacks. Wouldn't have been the end of the world just yet, but it would definitely not have been the start that he was looking for. Talking about stacks, Thrall is not really getting a whole lot. He's sitting at 3 stacks right now. He gets 4, 5. Alright. I mean, normally you want to complete that quest talent as you're heading into the first objective so that you have the second charge for Egg of Elements. That's not quite the case for him just now. Khaldor barely gets saved by Alexstrasza here. But we are seeing the Netherlands coming out with a lot of aggression. I mean, if I would have to give you a favorite for this series right now, despite the fact that we're seeing Belgium a little bit ahead in experience, I would say so far the early game definitely played quite well by the Netherlands. Very aggressive from them. Really trying to not fall. I mean, they're really trying, in my opinion, to not really fall behind. Show some initiative, don't play the reactionary game, but instead just try and put the pressure onto your opponent. I'm loving the way that we're seeing the camp here being taken. Great time, can probably delay it a little bit, not cap it right away, but wait a few more seconds. That would be the best thing for him here. Yep, they're delaying it slightly, not by too much though. Had a chance to make that even a bit more effective. But now we're having the Netherlands trying to go for their own camp. The problem is they're a little bit late to the party. 10 seconds until the shrine spawns, so that means that we're going to have an earlier position on the shrine for Belgium, as they're trying to go in for that. Level 4 talents now in both hands for the team. Neil Peasants, by the way, taken on Leoric. We talked recently about the different builds for Leo on this map when you're going into the greater swing. Greater Cleave on level 4, which can be played by Leoric if he really wants to. It gives him a little bit of added synergy on the 16 and 13 talent synergy, just when they're fighting on the shrine. But now we're having the battle happening right here. Medivh is, by the way, sitting on 16 stacks right now. Same time, the lead for Belgium as they're going for the objective. Camp at the top lane has been taken down. Here's the first quick portal. A little bit of portal plays already coming through, but everybody starts to get low on the Netherlands side. Genji is getting his Swift Strike in, and here comes Alex Straza. Commits to it, and that should be the shrine in their favor. It's close, but Alex is strong on this map for a reason. If you have the Dragon Queen ready and you pop it roughly around the time your team has 20 stacks, you have a really good chance that just by the Dragon Queen being so powerful, you're going to be able to claim that Punisher, and that's exactly what we see happening here. So Alex Straza getting the value once again on the map. Stack process continues for Medivh. He's sitting at 20, so halfway through. Thrall is about to complete his own stacking process, by the way, and get the Echo of Elements done, completed. Only one away. Yep, have it already done. Now having the push straight through the middle here. Opening up the wall. Early Punisher, of course, not quite as strong just yet. I mean, these bad boys are stacking into the late game, but still strong enough to allow Belgium to take the wall at the front. Of an attempt to go for Garrosh here, can't really do too much. 18 stacks also for Gul'dan, and down to the bottom of the map we have now Enabler going up against Yuki. So far so good. Haven't really talked a lot about the build that we're seeing from Stukov, but we have seen that of course in the past as well. A bit more of a focus onto the Waged Pustule here with the level 1 and the level 7 talent. It's a little bit different from going into the Lurking Arm build, so you're not as worried about getting... Like, you have a bit of a different focus, right? It's not so much for you all about the silence, more about the heals and the control here. But if you're, of course, going into a Lurking Arm setup, then normally you want to have also more burst damage that we're currently seeing for the team in red. So that's always a bit of a concern. Now we're also seeing a bit of an engage here, and Garrosh steals the camp away. Nice! Throws them out and takes the camp. All the work done by the Netherlands, and then Belgium moves in and says, oh, well, you know what, guys? We're gonna take this one. Thanks. Thank you very much. Quest progress, Gul'dan sitting at 20. I mean, he is the one that we really need to look towards, because once that he completes the Echoed Corruption, he is going to get a lot more damage out, and then the synergy with Ruinous Affliction becomes even more dangerous, because you can just unload so much damage on a single target. Good attack against Yuki. The body blocks against Garrosh are great, though. Might be able to take him down. Oh, barely surviving. 150 hit points, walks away, and that engage at the bot lane, not quite doing the job. But we're also seeing Medivh continue his stacks. 35 for him now. Very likely that he is not going to be taken out before that happens. And if they can get that completed, the Arcane Rift is going to give them a bit more damage output here. I mean, if you look at it right now, Hanzo, as expected, is taking the top numbers. Medivh behind him by a couple. But if he can complete that, it would be great. First of all, you can spam it out a lot more often. At the same time, you're also in a position where he does more damage. It's another 3 stacks in. Easy peasy for him. Nearly done with his quest here. 10 abilities are already in play now for both teams, actually. And that gives us the Entomb for Leoric, which is going to be super important here, especially around 20 if they get to that point. But we still wait for Medivh. Are we going to see the Leyline Seal as a setup, or is it going to be the Polybomb for them? An attempt to take down Dark Omicron is Leoric, even dropping the taunt cooldown. But he wasn't in range, so they couldn't get that done. With that being said, another shrine activates topside. But keep in mind, the problem is Alex Straza. She's the big problem when we're talking about this particular setup, simply for the reason that she can use the Dragon Queen whenever there's an even 20 on one side. So if the red team, if the Netherlands want to win this, they really have to take a solid position here and maybe even get a kill. And there we have the engage onto Alex Straza. They're trying to go first. She puts the ult out. Horrify already being used, and that puts Jojo in a really bad spot here. But still Iron Skin available. Has a very, very nice 3-man ley line that we're seeing now, but Leo is in trouble. And within trouble, I mean, he's dead. Gets the drain in. We're still early on in the game, so he's going to be back in the fight in just a bit. Medivh still playing this very carefully. He's 1 stack away from completing his quest. But they need to fight for this now if they want to have a chance here. There were a couple of cooldown burned on the other side, but yeah, the Netherlands, they used everything they had. Every single cooldown. And it just shows again that they are maybe lacking a bit of damage. But now the quest, the Arcane Rift of Medivh, is completed. So that allows them to be a bit more aggressive with him. Taunt comes in. Medivh with the damage and the cooldown reduction. The Entomb is out once more. Leoric going in, but the shield is helping out. Genji low, and he goes down. Great silence also coming through from Stukov. We have Heiser on his Garrosh still doing the work here. The Dragon Queen is in. And the portal escape as Medivh is getting value not only through the damage, but also with the utility that he offers his team. They still haven't taken down a single minion on the shrine itself, but now it's a 5 versus 4 for a few more seconds. Johanna had to retreat now, is coming back towards the fight, but the Netherlands, they need more kills if they really want to win the Arcane Punisher here, and they know it too. They don't split a hero away, but they are trying to drain at least Skyrosh at the front here. The flip is in, Wraithwalk being used, arrow comes out, but it's a bit too short. Hanzo can't really set anything up here. Another Horrify happening. Second one in this fight. The ley line also coming out. The taunt. Garrosh trying to get healed by Alex. Moves in, and here comes the ult. They're trying to go in. Dark Omicron getting a few stacks, but not enough. And another great 3-man entomb. Down goes Gul'dan, and oh my god, he goes back in. Medivh with a kill against Genji. Well done. Gets the numbers onto the board, and they have a double kill. So many tools already used by Belgium, and now they are still ahead in the numbers, but they don't have the Dragon Queen anymore. They used all of their rogue abilities again, and the damage is coming out over and over again. Blessed Shield is ready and could be used here against Garrosh. Is missed, actually. Misses the Blessed Shield. The Condemn sucks Garrosh back in, though. They're trying to get the kill, and indeed they do. Johanna barely escaping here. Barely escaping. Another kill against Alex Straza. What a fight. A battle that takes minutes and finally ends with the Netherlands having 5 kills, 6 kills on the board against 1. What a battle. Lacking damage a bit initially and then just working it in, with particularly Medivh having a huge impact here. I mean, when he dove in for Genji through his own portal and delivered the final blow, that was fantastic for them. Now they have access to the Arcane Punisher. They can move straight through the top. Gul'dan not completing his own quest on level 1. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a rough situation. Potentially for Belgium, they might lose that fort at the top lane. And to be quite honest with you, they definitely should. Look at Medivh now, 25,000 damage for him, 30,000 for Hanzo. Here comes the ley line, only against 1. The silence is a little bit late, but another Blessed Shield comes out. They're on the retreat. They are slow to leave here. Especially Genji gets slowed down, but they're not able to kill anybody. The fort is gone though. Leoric is still at the bottom of the map, helping out with additional wave clear and more experience for his team. The small wall already opened up to get a bit more damage through, but no, they retreat on the side of the Netherlands as they're starting to move away. Portal attempts here too. Einskin already being used. Genji is starting to chase the Horrify. And that's going to be the end of Stukov, or is it? He's trying to move through the portal. Not able to do that. Garrosh controlling him too much with the position. Here comes Genji again. Zipping in, zipping out. X-Strike, and down goes Medivh. An attempt to let them escape with another quick entomb. Dark Omicron is easily going to be able to walk away from this one, but it's still a 2-kill advantage for Belgium as they are drawing even in experience and moving in once again. Unlikely to be able to take down the fort towards the top though, but definitely Belgium showing that they are very well aware of the dire situation they are in this group, and they're not going to give up that easily just because they lost a single objective. Once at Gul'dan finishes the Echoed Corruption, their damage is also going to increase quite significantly. And on top of that, we're now of course having with the level 13 talents also a bit more utility on their end. But when you look towards their opponent, the Netherlands, they have some really powerful talents. I mean, not only are we talking about the Ominous Wraith here, which is going to be fantastic, but at the same time, the Virulent Reaction. That's such a great tool if you want to control your opponent even a little bit more. Talking about control, they're actually trying to go in for the camp, but they're a little bit too late. Here's the completed quest for Gul'dan. Medivh, by the way, now with the Enduring Will. So, gonna be making sure that he gets the most protection out of it. Arcane Explosion, Enduring Will, going full in on that after he originally went into the Portal Mastery. And also the Mage Armor. So, that's a talent that you don't see all that often. But yeah. Having the extra armor in for the engage, for the retreat. But mainly if you're starting engaging with the entire team, you can do a lot of work here. You have the initial armor, you have also, of course, the Force of Will that he's going to be using there. Already 16 on both sides right now, and that gives us the Ruinous Affliction for Gul'dan as expected. Bit of a move onto Thrall. The arrow being thrown out but misses, but the Entomb should actually hit Thrall pretty easily. And yeah, that's exactly what happens. Throws out the Earthquake, but there's no way. Is there a way he survives that? There might be. They have Alex Straza with the ult trying to keep them alive. Leoric moves away, Leyline Seal being used, but Leo about to fall, and a fantastic Horrify straight onto the portal, and it's a triple kill against them. It's gonna be a quad kill. Johanna falls, and Belgium wrecking the Netherlands. A nice attempt to gank Thrall at the top side, but then with the Frostwolf resilience and the help of Alexstrasza, Thrall is kept alive, and they are able to take 3 down. The Horrify from Khaldor was absolutely great. They saw the portal, they knew exactly that everybody would try to stack on top of it, and he just simply horrifies the portal, and everyone gets completely destroyed. And that's a massive lead right now. It's not only a level advantage, it's a great position on the Shrine too, because they get the early lead on that. 16 talent, Temporal Flux. So now again reducing the cooldowns here of the heroic ability. So a lot of cooldown reduction now coming through with the Arcane Rift, with also the Temporal Flux on 16. We have the Royal Focus now. And this is actually where the Ghastly Reach oftentimes gets a bit more value, because it really depends a lot on how many heroes you are able to hit. So if you have the level 4 talent choice, which in this case, by the way, is not happening. He went for the normal Needle Peasants, but one of the reasons why you sometimes see the Ghastly Reach on Infernal Shrines is because everybody stacks up in these 5 versus 5 fights, and then you get more value out of the Royal Focus, which of course then has the synergy with your level 13 talent choice. I was talking a bit earlier in the game, but just in case you're not quite sure about it, there's basically the talents right in front of you for it. Also, Thunderstorm now. And that's already stacked too. Now, of course, oftentimes you lose out on that, but if you have already the Echo of Elements and then you get that additional slow and you get the extra damage in, Thrall can be a huge pain. And he's already starting with that. The damage output is reflecting that as well. 42,000 for him. More poke happening as we speak. The wall is already opened up. Still a top camp to be considered. So the longer this fight down here lasts, maybe the wall at the top is going to fall and the keep might take some damage. But right now it's all about Belgium. It's about Belgium and their approach to take down the bottom structure here and try and drop the keep. So far it doesn't really look like they're fully going to be committing to it. Yeah, they are slowly starting away from it. Only got a fort out of this. Genji completes his own quest now. We have an approach with the ley line. Hitting one. One hero hit. They're setting the portal up and they're going for it. They're going for Heiser here. And here comes the immediate... Oh, that arrow right after the blessed shield. They're really committing to that fight. I'm not quite sure if that was really worth it. Horrify again. Get wrecked, son. Medivh is down. And that's the end of Johanna as well. Khaldor with those Horrifies is absolutely destroying the red team now. Netherlands have huge problems with those Horrifies that we're seeing coming in from him. And now, of course, they're going to try and go for the keep. Talking keep, by the way, this one up to the top is definitely not going to make it. 2 catapults and the wave, keep down. So it's a trade. A keep for a keep. The question is, can you core here? That's the big one. Can you go for the core at that moment in time? Yes or no? They're going to try. And there's only 2 to defend right now. Well, make that 1 because Dark Omicron is down. The shields are gone. And this is going to be a victory in game number 1 for Belgium as they take down the Netherlands with 11 kills against 6. GG. Well played as the blue team takes the lead. Alright, interesting intro to Alderac Pass here. I mean, usually they're going for names. I didn't ever hear that sound, to be honest with you. Game number 2, and we are on Alderac Pass. And let me tell you, that already caused a couple of discussions in the lobby, because most of the players here didn't really seem to be happy about it, at least on the side of the Netherlands, because it's Belgium's map choice. They decided that, actually it wasn't them that decided, the Netherlands decided they want to have first pick, first ban because they lost the last map, so Belgium was left with the map choice and the Netherlands were immediately like, nah, not quite sure about that map, dude. So, an interesting one. Maiev gets banned and so does Zeratul. I don't think I've ever really casted a pro game on this map. Played it, of course, a couple of times and saw it on other players' streams played as well, but most of the community on the higher level didn't really like it too much. Then again, if you compare it to Brexit, then it's always a question of what's the lesser of the two evils, right? Either way, we're going to see a map now that is slightly different to the objective and of course the core in particular. And it could become a very interesting game, especially considering that Belgium and Netherlands up to the late game were really neck on neck in that particular battle, in that race. And yeah, Belgium then takes it through a few great fights, and it's a ban against Garrosh that's supposed to make the difference here. I expected Gul'dan maybe to be targeted because those horrifiers in the last game from Belgium were actually spot on. Abathur, insta-pick. Not even wasting a second. Insta-pick on Abathur. Muradin and Alarak now taken right away on the Netherlands side. A very early commitment to Alarak here. Also an early commitment to Muradin, but then again we have Diablo and Garrosh banned out. If you don't want to play around Nubarak, then Muradin gives you a bit of a setup. But no Tyrande. Tyrande not taken. No Malfurion as a follow-up yet. There she is. What do you play with Abathur? Is that a Samuro map? No, Dehaka. For the global. But this would be another great map for Samuro too. If you have Abathur Samuro, you can annihilate structures. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous how strong that is. It has been played on Towers of Doom, has been played on Sky Temple, and oftentimes with huge success. But of course an Abathur Dehaka combo can also be totally terrifying and really allows for a lot of wave clear on the offlane. And then the tunnel in. But they're definitely playing a little bit of a long-term game here. And Nubarak banned out as well, as we didn't see a tank taken for Belgium, with Diablo and Garrosh banned out. Muradin taken, they now eliminate a Nubarak. Likely gonna be a Johanna. Johanna with Abathur can be very, very powerful. But then again, whenever you have Abathur in your mix, all of a sudden a lot of the other tanks that you would normally shy away from as a solo tank at the front line become a lot more viable because of that added sustain that Abathur gives you through his shield and the healing that you have with a Carapace build. Vikings banned out, okay. No Viking shenanigans. Again, it's a big map and Vikings can get value. Abathur can get a lot of value here, so that's a couple of the reasons here. Alright, let's see. Oriel? Oriel? Gazlo? What's happening here? I'm more like I question the Oriel pick more than I question the Gazlo pick. Gazlo is already a little bit crazy, but again, you can set up turrets around an objective, so I get that thought process. I still don't think it's the best hero here, but Oriel is something I'm looking at and like, why the hell would you pick Oriel? Jaina and Arthas are picked. I like that combo a lot that we're seeing from them. Abathur, Arthas, Jaina with a Tyrande. So many slows. I mean, this is going to be sick in terms of damage, like, no doubt. And sustain at the front, also global soaking too. But Oriel, who's gonna give her most of the energy? Like, who's really gonna benefit from that as a hero compared to a Malfurion, for example, or to any of the other supports that could have been played here? Probius too? What the hell is happening? The UK pulled that off already and played the Probius style. But now we have Gazlo and Probius with an Oriel? An Oriel? Okay. Let the fiesta begin. Alterac pass, game number 2. Netherlands going up against Belgium. Game number 1 ended in favor of Belgium when game number 2 on Alterac pass. You can tell I'm a little bit confused, and it's mainly because of the heroes that we're seeing for the red team. But let's take a look at Belgium first. They are in the lead. They have Toulouf on Dehaka. We have Not Even Trying on Tyrande. Enabler on Abathur. Kala on Jaina. And Heiser on Arthas. And then to the right side of the map, it's the Netherlands with Yuki on Oriel, Xenobias on Alarak, Dark Omicron on the Gazlord, Pani on Muradin, and B-Guy on Probius. Now, Chad pointed out earlier, and I have to agree, it could be worse. They could have picked Lucio or Brightwing, so at least they have 5 heroes. But still, it's a bit of an odd one. I mean, I guess you can use one of those pushers as your battery if you're an Oriel, but I'm still more shocked by the Oriel than I'm shocked by anything else, because to be honest, Oriel is pretty much out of the meta, and for good reason too. If you need a battery, then normally you want to rely on an auto attacker. Vala in the past was a fantastic choice, and Lunara of course as well, but I'm not quite sure if they're really gonna get all that sustain that I think they want to get with that pick. when it comes to the objective. I really think they have a lot of zoning tools to win the objective here, to be absolutely honest with you. I mean, whenever we are going to see those fights happen, you have now Gazlo that can send up the turrets on the objective, and on outside of that, you have Probius, who's probably going to go into... No, he's not going into a Warp Rift build. He's actually heading into the Gather Minerals here, so we're going to see that with a Photon Cannon focus from his side. When the UK played Probius, I kind of like the idea that they had with the Warp Rift focus as the build, because it simply allowed them to control the space around an objective very nicely. Down here, on the other hand, as we're coming back into the fight, we're having Khaldor nearly falling as Alarak is trying to get the damage in. He's not quite able to get the kills in, but yeah, now Khaldor is starting to repay this tri-lane here in kind. But you look at the minimap and you already see a bit of the idea here, right? You see an Abathur on the other side, and I really think one of the reasons why we're getting Gazlo and Probius here is simply because these guys say Abathur sucks in the early game. Well, maybe doesn't suck, but he's a little bit on the weaker side. And we're just going to set up a tri-lane at the bottom, going to push hard with it, and then we're going to destroy it with Gazlo and Probius. That can work, but it doesn't if your Gazlo gets taken out by the Dehaka in a 1 versus 1. Yeah. That shouldn't happen. So Toulouse definitely with already putting a big dent into the strategy of the Netherlands. But I can still tell you that the thought process behind it is not... It's... Okay. It is a bit crazy, but it might not be as crazy as it first seems. Like, the idea is really just push heavy in the early game, play through the push power and the wave clear that you have on those two bad boys, and try and abuse Abathur a little bit. It's one of the same thought processes that you oftentimes see when against an Abathur a team pushes heavily with, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what. But yeah, another drag. Toulouse is really putting the numbers on these guys. So now we're having the first objective spawn on the map, and I really feel like this is the moment where the Netherlands have to show what their composition is capable of. Already they have done a lot of pressure, especially here in the middle where we see the entire wall fall. Abathur has now started to take down the position at the bottom of the map. Alarak is low, and that's a kill. Second kill for Belgium. They're doing well here. And another Howling Blast locks down. Yeah, that's it. That's it for her. Alright. So another lockdown, another kill. 3 kills against 0 right now. And with Oriel being dropped, we are seeing the top lane offset again by Abathur, who jumps in. This is a big problem when you're in the solo lane against any team that runs an Abathur composition. He can offset the balance in any one-on-one quite easily by just jumping up there with a symbiote, and that's exactly what we see happening here. So the objective is on the map. Currently, nobody cares. Everybody's just sitting there like, nah, whatever. Instead, we're seeing the lanes being pushed out. We're seeing finally a bit of a rotation happening from the Netherlands. Gazlo, by the way, also not fully going into that TNT build that we see with wombo combo attempts. Instead, it's the Clockwork Steam Fists, so going into the turret basic attacks here. I mean, that by itself isn't really too bad, and it caters more to the style that I've been alluding to earlier when I try to make sense of this. If you set yourself up properly around an objective with those turrets, you can have a lot of value and really claim the objective, and I feel this is the idea that they have to head into. We're also having now the quest talent continued with a Photon Cannon on level 1 for Probius, heading straight into the Photon Barrier for the spell armor, and then the 7 going straight into the cooldown reduction. So very heavily set up around those talents. Top lane, same time now, still that fight happening, and Toulouse is starting to struggle a little bit more against this. Another kill against Gazlo down here. This is not really starting well for the Netherlands. I mean, Abathur has now also his level 7 mule, so that's a big tool. And they're just jumping away, stun after stun, lockdown after lockdown. As I said, the draft looks great for the Belgium. They have a Dehaka, who now just killed at the top lane Probius with the help of Abathur. Kills are coming in just all over the place. 5 kills against 0, as we're still seeing that fight down at the bottom. But Toulouse is just absolutely murdering people with Dehaka topside. And he's controlling the entire lane there. So now Heiser is just zoning for not even trying. But Gazlo moves in and starts to drop the turrets. Here's, by the way, a bit of an idea when it comes to the minion experience. That should soon start to switch a little bit in favor of the blue team, because again, they're looking really strong with the Dehaka topside. I mean, he's pushing another lane in, or another wave in, so they're starting to take the lead with that, and pretty significantly at that too. Probius is pushing out the middle, the rest of the team is fighting at the bottom as we speak, and trying to gain control of those prisoners. But so far, there's not too much happening outside of it, with the exception that the bot lane is just being pushed back. Khaldor is zoning that out. Mule is already getting some work done. And Dark Omicron is attempting to get the channel and finally able to pull it off. They're trying to go for a kill. The Haka is there, dodges everything, connects the drag, and that's going to be a potential kill. Xeno bias might fall, but there's turrets everywhere. Photon cannons, turrets, and that's the whole idea behind this draft. Dominate with a setup, and they're getting massive damage in now. Heiser is low and has to retreat. Abathar still attempting to help out. Keep in mind, this is all before level 10, before we are going to see Abathar unfold his real potential with a copy. Nice kill. Good job with the telekinesis. Jaina is down and everybody else is already low, as we're seeing their allied camp captured again. And that should be the first objective for the Netherlands. But level 10 is close. It's very close. And it should actually end up with a heroic ability for the blue team, just as the objective comes through. And that is not negating a lot of the value that you get through it. Toulouf is there. Tries to dodge the telekinesis and the storm bolt. Both are hitting though, and he's going to be able to walk away from this. Yeah. Has to pop the essence, but is still able to dodge. Ring of Frost this time taken. We have the objective coming through. 10 for both teams, by the way, so the delay on it helped the blue team, or the red team, to get their own heroic abilities. And with that, we're now also seeing the Null Gate taken. Important one for him. Robo Goblin over the potential wombo combo setup. And I mean, you can't really do a lot with a wombo combo here. If you go into... if you go into a Gravel Bomb and then Alarak follows up with a perfect combo, you can do a lot, I suppose. But outside of that, very little. They're trying to go for the probe. Rushing away. Oh, Toulouf. That was unfortunate for him. But the... Oh, misses the drag too. I'm actually not quite sure if it was too short or if B-Guy just dodged out on that. But that was a huge commitment at the top side. And that didn't work out at all. And all of a sudden, the Netherlands, despite only having 1 kill against 5, take a significant lead in the game. Another kill against Gaslow. They're losing heroes left and right, but they're still doing work. Oh, nice setup here with Oriel saving herself through the Aegis. But Jaina dies, and they're looking for more kills even. They're starting to move in here. The problem is the silent hit hard. Nice job from Alarak. They're trying to get another kill here. And the copy is going to fall, and Abler is not going to get another kill here, but as long as he can save Heiser, that's already going to be fine. 2 of the forts are down on the other hand, and again, we're coming back to that approach towards the top lane where they were trying to kill Probius. They moved their Haka with this global to the top side, had a 3-man gank, didn't get the kill, and that was a massive problem for them. Lost 2 main structures now. Myrden trying to move out of harm's way here. I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to walk away. I don't think so. Myrden is going to fall. They're going to get the kill. 7 kills against 2, 12 versus 12 nearly. But we have another structure taken down. And keep in mind what I talked about in the previous games. We're looking at the passive experience. That's going to be hugely important. And this is now massively going to snowball into the hands of the red team, into the hands of the Netherlands, despite the fact that Enabler with his Abathar has a global, and of course the Haka comes into play for that too. Boss even taken now at the bottom. The Owl is on the way, but it's too late. You nearly have it down, and that means you can't rotate in here either. So we are going to see that lead in passive experience for the team. I'm not quite sure why the Haka even tunneled in for this. I have no idea what that thought process was. A little bit too late, if you ask me. They're trying to go for Alarak. They still get the kill. I can't believe it. The Haka moved in after the boss was taken, and they're still able to get the kill. Toulouf was a little bit early for that, but they get the kill. They just have much better fight potential. It's just a problem of the draft. You have a much better team fight unless your opponent is set up with the photon cannons and with the turrets from Gaslow. That's like the big problem. If you're just going into a 5 versus 5 battle without having the additional time in the position where you want to fight, Netherlands just don't have enough damage. They just don't have what they really need to make this work. Soma transference now on 13 for Abathar. It's going to be great for him. At the same time, the shield battery for Probius, and I mean that is a pretty good one. Having the shields now too. Again, the entire fight is centered around them trying to control the space. Trying to control the space with your turrets, trying to control it with the TNT, the stuns, the slows. And that's why they're setting up fights around the boss like they do up here. even if the fight now starts here, they already have the first few turrets in, they have a couple of cannons in place, so it's not necessarily a battle that you want to fight, but it's a battle that you could take. Isolation on Khaldor as they're going in again. The stuns come through, and that's a tough battle to take. Again, the Blizzard down, but not getting too much value. And Muradin with an Avatar hits another Stormbolt and nearly getting a kill against Dehaka. Everybody starts to get a bit low here. We get Yuki with all the energy that he can possibly muster, doing a great job actually on the URL. And that's just a fight that you don't really want to take. Middle is getting pushed in the meantime. There's another camp coming in. And Abathar is, of course, going to try and soak all of the XP. Drops the mule right away. But the boss is engaged once more, and the turrets are simply on the ground. Gaslow and Probius. They work for the map and for the objective so far. Might not be a combo you want to play on any other map, but so far it's actually working out. Boss with a big stun against Dehaka. That might be the end of him. Aegis saves. Ring of Frost not connecting. Gaslow is still low, and the boss is taken away by Belgium. They also get the kill against Gaslow. What a weird game. Fights all over the place. Setups with photon cannons and turrets for the Netherlands around the bosses. Them completely willing to take these fights. But Belgium going in and with a superior teamfight power in the 5 versus 5, they're able to steal the boss away, they zone it out, and now they're trying to use it to their advantage up here towards the top. Objective is still on the map, nobody gives a shit, but Toulouse goes in, they get the kill against 1, against 2, Muradin and Oriel are both dead, and Tickle experience might be a big thing. They have now in the passive experience a 3,000 lead, but a fort at the top lane falls, and that is going to negate at least some of the advantageous position that we're seeing for the Netherlands. And of course, it doesn't really help that you're behind in experience either. I mean, at this point, we're literally talking about the objective already channeled. We're talking about level 16 talents. Well, we have Abathar going into the Locust Brood. Abathar apparently having such a weird... He's in such a weird spot with him having to defend the entire time against these pushes that Abathar actually decided to go into the Locust Brood just so that they don't lose structures to it. I mean, he's the one that defends against camps the entire time and has to deal with all the push potential. I mean, look at Probius alone. He already took another camp and is now at the bottom of the map to push through. So Abathar feels the need to spec into a little bit more siege damage just so that he can survive through this. And we have another fight already about to start. The objective is completed though. 16 versus 16 talents now, and that means that we're having for Oriel also the spell power advantage. Don't want to go into the auto attack here. Dehaka trying to rotate over. They're heavily pressured. The Netherlands are just trying to cancel them to death. That's basically what's happening here. And they have a lot of stacks, by the way. 22 stacks on the Stormbolt by now. 450 for good old Gaslow. So he nearly has the quest reward on 600. But the objective can take down a few more of those forts, and if that happens, then the entire Tickle experience advantage, the passive experience advantage that we have for the Netherlands because of their early game push power would be negated, and they are already behind in XP. So that would not be a good move. Having Abathar, of course, in the game really helps the blue team too, not only because of all that global pressure that we've been mentioning earlier, but also because you have Mule. It's the only hero that still has Mule as the level 7 talent, and he's using it. Another quick drag down here. Got the isolation of 2. Abathar is jumping in. They're trying to get the kill, and the rest of the team rotates as well. Probius is moving out and should be able to escape from this one. Yeah, he's going to get away, but I can tell you he's not going to get away. It's the fort. The fort is going to fall, and uh-oh, with a drag connecting on Muradin, he might die too. Oh, triple combo! Did he get 3? Did he get 4? He got a lot. And down goes Jaina, and they are trying for Arthurs now too. He's already silenced. Can they get that kill? Yeah, they should be able to. If another Stormbolt hits, and Pani should have the cooldown. 1 jump, 1 bolt, and they're going for more. They want everyone. They want all of them. Here's the attempted kill, counter kill against Gaslow. That didn't work out. Arthurs is dead, and they are moving straight into not even trying. Stormbolt misses, and he actually drops Probius, doesn't he? Yeah! Probius goes down to run the falls, but she gets the counter kill. But now the Netherlands are going for the keep. This game is nuts. It's absolutely insane. 12 kills against 5. They're just everywhere. The keep is being attacked. That's the first one to fall. Toulouse is the only one that is currently here. Massive wave pushing in the middle. Another one accumulating up at the top, so it's going to be a bit of experience lost. The keep is down, the ring comes through but doesn't stop anybody, and Taluf should be a bit careful of how deep he wants to go for this. They're still fighting against 4, so be a little bit cautious. Look at Zenobias here, trying with this Alarak to just completely shrek them. He has 47,000 damage right now. Top damage in the game for him. If you look at the stacks, he's currently sitting, completed level 1 quest talent, obviously, by having him at 120 baseline stacks, and also here currently 40 stacks on his level 4, the negatively charged. Time for the objective again. Still a lead in experience for the blue team, but this game is just all over the place right now. This is getting a little bit nuts, if you ask me. Muradin spec'd into the dwarf launch on 16 for the additional jump. 20 talents are going to be super important for this game, but this is just such a weird setup here. But the siege damage, I mean, look at the numbers here. Siege damage with 200,000 for Probius. We have Gaslow with another 83. So from the siege damage perspective, it kind of looks crazy at this point. They're actually trapping around the boss. Pani, Stormbolt, they move in, and here comes the attack. They're going for it. They're trying to go for it. It's a choke point though. They need to be really careful. And the Blizzard, but the kill against Jaina. And that's exactly what I said. Alarak is just saying, thank you. Everybody funnels into that small choke. And all of a sudden, the Alarak combo just insta-kills with the help of Probius. Jaina, they're getting another combo set up. And oh my god, it's a nightmare for Belgium. I like the idea of the trap, but the execution was not what they wanted. 2 down already. A third one dies. Tyrande is dropped. That push is also stopped by the turrets, and all of a sudden the question, do you go for core, yes or no? It is Alderac Pass, so if you don't take the core, it will regenerate, but they have 3 heroes eliminated, and it doesn't look pretty. Alarak is actually getting heavily damaged here in that setup, but the boss is falling, and it's falling fast, and there's another 16 seconds until Jaina is going to be back. They might be able to defend though. They're going in again. The kill against the Haka. Nope, that's going to be it. That's going to be it. The Probius Gaslow comp actually makes it work on Alderac Pass. A weird map, a weird game, a weird composition. But the Netherlands, they pull it off and we go into game 3. Game 2 was a wild one, to say the least. Now we're heading into game number 3. I kind of like the strategy though. Probius and Gaslow. I mean, as I said before, it's a little bit wild, but the wave clear worked out for them in the end. I kind of feel though that Belgium defeated themselves a little bit with that last trap that they set around the boss, and then they funneled into a choke point against Probius's AoE, and especially against Alarak, who already had insane stacks and was just wrecking everyone. So Belgium may be a bit overzealous in that particular encounter. Then again, Tomb of the Spider Queen is game number 3, and as you can see, first pick, first ban goes over to the Netherlands, so it is Belgium's map choice. This is going to be super important. I talked about it at the beginning of the series, but both of these teams have actually lost their initial match in the group stage, so if you don't win here, you're in trouble. You're very, very likely not going to make it out of the group. You have to hope for some crazy results and some really, really weird tiebreakers, and all others still have a chance. So if one of the two teams now takes it, they still have a good chance to at least make it out of the group as the second. It depends a bit on the results that we are going to see from the UK and from Sweden. But of course, both of those looked very strong in the games that they played here. And I am not quite sure who has the upper hand here anymore. We have a bit of interesting builds coming from the Netherlands that worked out so far. Belgium, I would say, in team fights is a bit more coordinated. But it's tough to say. So we're going into Enhancer ban. We have Garrosh, by the way, open. Garrosh, Genji, both open. Both not banned out. Kind of important here for Tomb of the Spider Queen. Diablo has been banned out, but that leaves us also with Tyrande, who has seen a lot of picks because of that snipe that you can get through with the Hunter's Mark and the burst damage behind it. So that's another thing that we could see here. Garrosh insta-pick. Now, immediately the question... yeah, there she is. Don't even have to ask the question. It's just like, snap pick Tyrande. Bam. What are we going to see with her, though? Is it going to be a bit of an Anubarak play? They still have Muradin around. There's also Johanna to be considered, since the wave clear on Tomb of the Spider Queen is highly important. So there are definitely options. It depends on what style you want to use. Do you want to go into a wave clear style? Do you want to go into some sniper style? Instead, it's first of all Reyna. Very early Reyna again. Highly recognized pick also at the last BlizzCon, especially the Korean teams really love to play with him. We've seen him paired recently a bit more with Arthas even. And Arthas, of course, for the slow really helps because your ace in the hole on level 1 gets procced a lot. And that's 15% extra damage. Very few are going to say no to. Ooh! Orphea and Ana. So the Nana boosted Orphea. Fair enough. It's going to be an interesting one. The numbers for her should be very, very solid in the game. What do you ban now, though? Supports are there. What are you worried about at this point? I mean, you still have to consider the offlane, right? Genji could be banned out too if they don't plan on taking him for themselves. I could see Netherlands banning another tank, given the current situation. And yeah, they banned the offlane. Blaze taken away. What are they going for then? You ban out Blaze, you can play Thrall. Thrall, Leoric, Alarak. A couple of good choices. I mean, even Dehaka has been played occasionally on the map. Normally, of course, when you think Dehaka, you think big map. But Dehaka can still give you value here because of all the events that are around the turning point, so you can tunnel in. I don't expect him to be in this game, to be honest, but it's an option. Unless the ban against Alarak doesn't shock me at all. But as we said before, the ban against Anubarak. As we said before, you still have Johanna and Muradin. Both are great. And again, it comes down to, do you want to just go for snipes in the early game? Stormbolt into Tyrande stun, into quick burst damage. Then a Jaina or Gul'dan would be good. Or do you just play the wave clear game where Johanna would be a bit better? And Johanna is really good into Garrosh as well, because of the iron skin when you get flipped. Muradin, of course, can jump out. He's not interrupted. And there it is. Leoric and Johanna as the last pick in terms of damage. They could go into Gul'dan still. Even more wave clear for them. They already have Reyna, so that would add a bit more cooldown based mage damage. But you also have to consider Jaina again. You have a 2 misses setup. You have stuns from Johanna on level 10 and Tyrande before that. So a Ring of Frost could be a great follow-up for any kind of aggression here. Then again, a Gul'dan Horrify, obviously also very strong. And there's Probius again. Alright. Netherlands again with a Probius choice. Didn't play him at all, if I remember correctly, in the previous match that they played. And here comes Alarak. Alright. Alarak against Probius. That could hurt, for sure. Game number 3. They put it all on the line. B-Guy again with his Probius play. Dark Omicron on Malthael this time. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. I like this already. So let's head straight into Mode Spider Queen. Game number 3. Belgium against the Netherlands. An important one for both teams. And to the left, Taloof on Leoric on the offlane, the Belgian player. Enabler on Reyna, we have Kala on Alarak. So after losing to Alarak on game number 2, they're now trying to give the Netherlands a taste of their own medicine. Not even trying on Tyrande again, and Heiza on Johanna. And to the right side, Yuki with Orphea has Pani on Ana, so we're going to see the nano-boosted Orphea play. B-Guy again on Probius for the 2nd time in a row. So going into his cannon build again, as you can see here with the level 1, gather minerals for him immediately, trying to get the additional damage, which is going to be pretty important if they can set that up. The problem, of course, with any kind of Probius or Gazlo play in general is you want to be where the fight is before the fight happens, which normally means that you're trying to play it around an objective. That being said, the Ancestral Strength again is level 1 choice on the side of Orphea, so with that we're going to have the additional damage on the slows and roots, and there's a lot that can provide that. Now with Xenobias on Garrosh and Dark Omicron on Malthael, we're rounding that draft off. And let's see how the stack process is going to go for Alarak. I mean, he did serious damage in the last game when he was in the hands of the Netherlands. If Khaldor can emulate that, then especially the little probe could be in trouble, because that's a lot of damage against a low hit point hero. Then again, most of the wave clear really comes now from Leoric, from Johanna as well. You have, of course, Reyna, who with the penetrating round can also pack a bit of a punch here, but normally that's not quite what you want to use in the setup. Go for the pylon, leave the cannon right there, take it down later, 4-man rotation. Leo takes his position at the bottom of the map against Malthael. And so far, so good. We also have to keep a bit of an eye out on the stacks for Ana. Piercing Darts on level 1 is a great talent, and if you get the stacks, if you get the 20 and then the 40, you're in a really great spot where you can start to... the 10 and the 20, sorry, my bad. you can have a really nice range increase, which keeps you a lot safer. And one of her biggest problems is she just doesn't have a good escape. She doesn't have anything that helps her to get out of harm's way. And if, for example, Toulouse at some point Wraith walks in, drops an Entomb later on, then she can be in trouble real quickly. So it really pays off to get the stacks early on, so you can stay a bit safer towards the back and don't fall into that trap too often. The rotations are pretty much on point right now from both of them. There's a little bit more, a lot of vision. Maybe the blue team doesn't quite execute it properly. Toulouse had a little bit of trouble there and is already starting to drop low. But there's a lot of wave clear, and especially the bot lane is oftentimes visited by 1 or 2 team members just to offset that one-on-one power play a bit between the two heroes. Orphea kind of gets wrecked. Enabler, a little stun there, or with the penetrating round, trying to get a bit more damage in. Shadow Walls being used by Yuki so far, doing fairly well on that, but you can tell that the wave clear is in the hands of Belgium. They're rotating in and out very quickly from the middle to the top, and are trying to pressure that in. And they're doing well with exactly that setup. Alarak is kind of stuck in the middle of the map against Probius. Leori going again on level 4 into Neil Peasants. Standard talent for him to take. Turn in, 18 so far. I mean, Belgium is doing fairly well with this rotation, and it keeps them in control of that turn-in point. Malthael at the bottom of the map is also getting zoned out a bit because we continuously have Alarak making a move down to the bottom of the map to say hello. And try and see if he gets a little bit of extra damage in, or if he can maybe even help Leoric to get a kill. Xenobias moved a bit far out there, but nobody really wants to get too close to Garrosh just now, especially if they are in range of the turrets. Rotation still happening here. Very little actual fights happening. It's just about the wave clear and trying to get the position at this point. And the turn-ins, as I said before, are quite a bit stronger for Belgium now. The Netherlands have trouble getting to a turn-in point and really handing in the gems that they have. And that can be devastating when you play on Tomb of the Spider Queen. We just the other day saw teams with 150 gems that weren't able to turn in, then lost a hero or two, and all of a sudden all their hopes of starting a comeback in the game were gone. The hopes of Probius and Garrosh are so far answered because, well, both of them survive. There's a lot of damage output, and again, I'm coming back to Alarak. If he gets to Probius in those fights, Probius is going to be in so much trouble. Ooh, Leo. Now that Malthael moves into the middle, Leo can actually stop him from the rotation. Yep, that's an entire wave lost down here. Nope, not quite. Is able to move through. Loses 2-3 minions, doesn't lose the entire wave. Ooh! Yeah, level 4 comes through, fight or flight for Enabler. That keeps him alive, or we would have seen Orphea go in and get that kill. He might still be able to pull that off. Yep, and there we go. Jump away. Shadow Walls in, and that's the end of Reina. And that's also the first kill in this game. Well done. Xenobias pausing the game even, but yep, that didn't really turn out too nicely for Reina. Needs to be a bit more careful, especially when he already uses Fight or Flight. Talking about Ana, by the way, only 3 stacks taken currently on the piercing dart, so not getting too many out of those through. When you look at the damage output, Leoric is just continuing the drains, and that's why the hero damage is so high on him already. But Orphea, and I'm a little bit scared how much damage she's going to be able to put onto the board after we see level 10, because the nano boost from Ana should really allow her to absolutely murder people if there's a big team fight over a turn-in point, over a boss, or maybe just simply over the objective itself. So that's definitely, it has to be a concern for them. I mean, outside of that, when you're just looking at talents, we're having her going straight into Dread, the Dread slow on Fright on level 4. And this is pretty much the build that we see most of the time. You're going into your Dread talent on level 4, on level 7, and on level 1 you have the Ancestral Strength. And that's kind of what I expect here too. Would be surprised if we're seeing... Oh, actually, no. We're seeing Ravenous Hunger taken. Fair enough. Bit of a deviation away from it. So, not gonna take the Dread talent on level 7. Oftentimes you see Orphea players, or that we had so far in the higher level games, focus very heavily on that. The turn-in, despite the kill against Reina, still came through for Belgium. So they have now the first objective pushing. And this is really the moment when you're trying to get a bit ahead. In an ideal world, you want to get a fort, but it's unlikely that that happens. As long as you drop some towers, you're going to be fine, though. You can really tell how B-Guy is having a bit of trouble keeping himself alive on Probius. Every single time we see him, he drops to about 50% HP within seconds. But they have good wave clear, and they're using it. The walls have fallen now at the top, at the bottom, and actually the way that they are pushing into this and zoning out the Netherlands, This is looking more and more like we are going to see Belgium walking away with an early fort. And the kill against Probius, there it is. Alarak, as we said before, is going to be Probius' nightmare. And it proves to be the case. Kill and fort, and that's insane. For the first turn in, 5 minutes in, on Tomb, that is a lot. They got the gate down here, they got a turret, they got the kill against Probius, they got the entire fort in the middle. That is not a good point for the Netherlands to start. Okay, Condemn, slow, and Yuki is alive. Nice use from Johanna here, going straight into the Iron Skin. It's one of the main reasons why Johanna is actually a decent hero against Garrosh, because even if you are thrown in, you can still use your trade, but you can also use the trade to prevent the flip in the first place. So, a big argument in favor of Johanna whenever you're going up against a Garrosh player. Full focus, by the way, into the Photon Cannon from Probius, picking it on 4 and 7 again, as we saw in the last game. So far, they didn't really get as much value. I'm a little bit concerned for Anna. 3 stacks only. If we are heading into a late game and she doesn't have any range increase through quest rewards from her level 1 talent, she's going to be very much exposed in these situations. And that might be a big problem, because there's no escape tool for her. Alright, telekinesis being used, 4th stack acquired for Anna through that as well. But here's the level 10. They get it. Are they going to go straight in? No. Could have seen the Blessed Shield immediately being used here. But now, as predicted, Leoric with the Entomb, and against the backline, that's harsh. Not only do you have Probius that you can take down, but you also can get a little bit closer to Orphea, but mostly Anna. I don't want to attempt to turn it down at the bottom, but another Web Weaver wave. Blue team with a second turn-in. Things are starting to look a little bit dicey for the Netherlands. Now, again, they still have, or they will have level 10 for the defense, but they really need to be careful here. If they fall too far behind and then maybe lose a team fight, they're going to be in a disastrous position. Last rights taken, but here comes that nano boost. And nano boost is going to be big with this. Here comes the quick hit. Oh, clenching jaws come in. They try to go for Garrosh and they cannot get him. Tirana's low though. Tirana's really low, nearly taken down by the pylons here on the overcharge. Even the Hyperion being committed to just to zone them out, just to cover the retreat. Malthil is still at the bot lane and he deals with it, but the issue is that this fort could fall. Orphea taken down in the mid lane by Alarak on the other hand. Another quick kill from Alarak. He gets the stacks together here. 14 on the 4, 2 of the quests completed on level 1 and 86. And this is not looking pretty. Uh-oh, this is going to be keep, isn't it? Oh wow, Netherlands, they are losing ground on this map quickly. After the last game, Belgium is not taking any risks here. They're playing so much better around Probius right now. They're not risking too much. 2 forts eliminated, 1 keep down, and we're not even 10 minutes into the game. 8 minutes and 20 seconds and the first keep is down. This is not pretty. This is a great setup for Belgium, and they are making very few mistakes here so far. You look at the kill count, oh, another one. Entomb, and they walk straight into the stun. Yeah, you can taunt them all day long, but you're in trouble, buddy. And there's the setup, and there's the kill. Garrosh goes down. Alarak is having a laugh, quite literally. Not quite sure what the last rights were supposed to do on Heiser here. That's not happening. And this is tough times for the Netherlands. They had a great game 2, but here in game 3, things look very, very dire. I mean, right now, we're having 3 kills against 1, we're having a keep down, we're having 2 forts down. The experience leads through passive experience alone is going to be enhanced by quite a bit. Level 13 now with the right of Rakshir taken as well. So this is going to be a bit tough too, especially, of course, if you're putting that on any of the squishies in the back line. Giddy up now taken, and, well, let's take a quick look at the passive experience. You can already see the massive lead here by nearly 2,000 for the blue team. And the longer that game goes, the more it's going to increase. The one saving grace is, and even that is a bit of a stretch, is that we still have 86 gems on the side of the Netherlands. I'm saying it's a stretch because they already lost a fair amount of gems. They only have enough for a single turn-in, and we already had 2 turn-ins for Belgium. And they haven't turned in a single gem yet, by the way. It's not that they're holding 49 that they turned in already. Nope, we're far from that. So they lost a huge amount of gems, but they still have a turn-in. So as the objective scales into the late game, there's a little bit of a chance for them to maybe get some value out of that. But obviously they're not even trying to turn in right now, because how could they? They're behind by 2 levels in their talent. They have to at least wait for 13 talents to come in for them. But there's another fort at the bot lane that falls, and that's more passive experience for Belgium. Belgium is in full control of this game right now. In full control. I mean, look where they are. They're literally in the face of the Netherlands at this point. They're trampling down on all the tulips they can find. They take the camps and they eat all the cheese. It is crazy. Belgium is showing very much the aggression that they should with the lead that they have. Even trying to push through the bot lane. They won't go for the keep, don't get me wrong, but they're definitely going to be in the spot where they can take maybe down 1 or 2 towers. Even committing to a Hyperion here. Everything before level 13 hits for their opponent. Before 13 hits, go for it. There's a 13 talent. Should probably start to walk away from it now and not fight too much. Then again, if they can get a kill here, Orphea goes in, gets stunned right away, and yep, Garrosh is already on the run, and guess who dies first? It's Orphea. She's dead, and now we might see the go for core. Well, maybe not core, but keep number 2 should definitely fall here. With the Siege Giants still in, and them all 5 on the board, even having a few heroics left, there is very few reasons for them to not try and at least get the second keep of the game. And with 2 keeps down, this is just brutal. There is nothing on the other side. Malthael can't go in, and then the only damage you have is Orphea. Probios is not going to do too much in that situation. He has the most hero damage, yes, but it's not just single target damage that he can put on someone to just push them back. He gets most of it through the warp gates right now, and through a couple of cannons, so the damage output is there, but it's not really on-point damage that you can use to secure a kill, and that's their big problem. They somehow sneak in the turn-in, but does that really help? Look how far those waves are pushed out. They're basically starting at the keep. This is rough. It's a 3-level difference in also talents. The 16 talent is just so powerful here now. Ominous Wraith, Royal Focus, they can use it all. Here comes the Entomb again, already into the backline here, reducing the damage. Garrosh in trouble, he's low, and they're trying to focus him down, and Garrosh is about to fall. Yes, Reyna dies as a counter kill, but with Malthael falling, again throwing out the last rites in a bit of a panic moment to at least get some damage in. We're having a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Belgium, and they're not stopping here. They're still trying to get more out of this. Not even trying, is dodging most of it. Orphea goes down, goodbye to the damage, and guess what? It's Ana in the backline that we're worried about right now. She gets slowed as is. B-Guy gets obliterated on his Probius, and that's going to be the end of Ana too. It's a full 5-man team wipe. Everybody's down, but they're not going for core. They missed. Reyna's down. Reyna is dead, so they're not quite sure they can really core here. That Malthael is already back, so instead they're just playing it super safe. They're defending against the Web Weavers. The worst case scenario, I like the choice actually. The worst case scenario for Belgium would have been to go to the core, try and drop it, get wiped on the core, or just not managing to do it. In the meantime, all your forts fall to the Web Weavers, and then you have given your opponent a ticket back into the game. Instead, they're just saying, no, screw it, we play it safe. We defend against the Web Weavers, we go for boss. If they try and trap us there, we just kill all of them. And that's what they're doing. He's gonna die. There's no way he survives this. Well, actually, maybe. I'm just kidding. Malthael is down, so is Orphea. Another kill against Garrosh. 12 kills against 2. Khaldor doesn't fall either, and they can go for boss. They can go for a turn-in. It's literally the toughest decision for them is like, how do you want to end the game? Do you just want to go core? Do you want to go for the Web Weavers? Do you want to go for boss? Do you want to do all of it? Tough decisions to be made here. Netherlands fought a valiant fight, and I think game 1 was actually very, very close, but going into the Probius play again was maybe a bit of a mistake here in game number 3. I liked the ingenuity in game number 2, picking Alterac Pass, going for Gaslow, going for Probius, really just try to play around your opponent on the map. It looked really strong. Game number 1 in the mid-game, Netherlands looked also quite good. But here in game 3, it's only one team that's calling the shots, and that's the team in blue. Belgium is just waffling their way over to the core of their opponent. They're going to make it through the top keep too, and it's an absolute disaster for the Netherlands in the 3rd game. They fought a good fight though, but now they are in the group with 2 losses unless they start a miracle comeback here. A kill might be able to pull that off, but they don't get it. They don't get it. The clenching jaws don't do enough, and now Malthael is dead again, and he's only the first one. Yuki is already dropped. Alarak with the damage. Alarak all day, every day. They lost to him in game number 2, but now they give the Netherlands a taste of their own medicine. Alarak with 36,000 damage. and they are going for the core to end the game, to end the series. The 2-1 victory for Belgium, and they are starting to pick up a match win for the ranking in the group stage. GG and well played.